From the east of spring's awakening breezes, to the south of summer's passionate heat, to the west of autumn's purifying waters, to the north of winter's regenerative earth, I open this reading by invoking the Muse. O divine Posy, goddess, daughter of Zeus, sustain for us these messages of inspiration. Make this reading live for us in all of its many bearings, O Muse. Welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot. Today you may have noticed that I'm playing around with a new intro, and I really want to start focusing my channel a lot around the Muses and calling on them to bring us, inspiration and beauty and wisdom through these readings. Of course, I always like calling on all sorts of helpers, ancestors, angels, whatever. But I really want to make the Muses a staple here. I'm definitely focused in the creative realm of life, and the name CosmoMuse has been with me for a really, many, many years now. And it's just something that's kind of core in me, is channeling the Muses, connecting to them, playing around with creativity. So today we're specifically going to call in the Muses. We may not every single reading specifically call them in, even though the intro will now be invoking them. Whether I call them into the reading specifically or not, they will always be invoked here with that new intro. But today we are very specifically going to see what Muse, trying to see if one of them will show up in each of these readings. So there's 9 Muses, and they're all daughters of Zeus, and I'm probably gonna butcher this name. Mnemosyne, and it's the goddess of memory. So the 9 Muses are their daughters. And so of the 9, I'm hoping at least 4 show up, 1 for each pile, but maybe a couple will show up in a pile, we'll see. And just looking for a general message, some sort of inspiration they have for us and wish they have for us, and just whatever they want to bring to us. Creative message, a message of inspiration, something beautiful to share. So I am also, just to kind of celebrate the new intro I've done, I'm also using the stones I use to call in the directions. So we have a Sunstone here for the yellow, for east and air. For pile 2, we have a red stone for summer. I believe this is a Jasper, but I'm not positive. So it's a red stone for summer, fire, heat, passion. For pile 3, we have a blue Orca stone, calling in sort of autumn energy, water, purification, fluidity. So there. And the elements I'm using for the directions is from the Celtic Spirit Wheel, by the way. Different spirit wheels have different elements connected to their directions, but the Celtic one that at least I'm using for right now is where I'm getting these from. And then for pile 4, we have a white stone a friend sent to me from Idaho. I don't know what it is. It's just a beautiful mineral stone from the earths and mountains of Idaho. And so this is representing winter and earth and kind of spirit. So you don't necessarily have to connect to the energy of spring, summer, autumn, winter, but that might, for some of you, you might consider yourself a spring person or a winter person or whatever. Or you might just be drawn to the colors or the number of the pile, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is for you that calls it in. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a clearing here with some sage to clear out any energies that we don't want, and to bring in space for the muses to arrive. All right, if you need more time, this is a great place to pause. If you want me to lead you through some breath work, I will do that now. So take a deep breath in, hold at the top in the space between your brows, maybe even suck in a little extra to bring some pressure there, and then an exhale out loud with a big ah. So if you need more time with that breath, you can pause here and do that. And if you need more time just generally feeling into which pile or piles you want to hear a message from, this is a great place to pause. Otherwise, I will put the timestamps below in the descriptions, and you can go straight to your reading. I will see pile 1 first. All right, see you guys. Hello, pile 1, my beautiful East muses of air and spring. I'm just gonna bring in a little bit of feather action to bring in that energy of air, spring, awakening, clarity. Okay, so for you guys, the card that you picked with your stone, so these are the cards and stone you picked. I'm going to read this out of the book. This is from a deck called the Seed and Sickle, and when you pull it upright it has a dawn message, and when you pull it up reversed it has a dusk message. And so we're going to see what this dusk message, since this mistletoe card 48 came out in reverse for you guys. Okay. It says, in Scandinavia, the mistletoe is called the plant of peace. Enemies sworn to a duel must lay down their weapons until the next day if they encounter the plant on their way to fight. No doubt the extra day to cool their tempers does them a world of good, and it will do the same for you. Step back from the problem that's perplexing you and allow yourself some space before making any rash decisions. So I actually love this for this spring air energy. So in astrology, when I think of spring, it is the time of like self-assertion, and it can come with some confrontational and impatient notes. So I think this is tapping into that energy. There's definitely like something passionate that the muses are blessing you with, but they are saying that it's good to maybe go on some night walks to cool that down a little bit. Anytime you feel passion turning into anger or confrontation, wait for that cooling dawn air and take a nice cooling off walk to temper this energy coming into you, because it's a beautiful blessing, this passion coming in, but you need to keep it focused for you and not towards things or feeling anger, you know, letting those winds of that spring energy kind of lead your passion towards beauty rather towards overheating. So I think this is a message from the muses that some evening walks right now could do you some good, or a cool shower even if it's really hot where you are and it's not even cool in the evening. But there's some beautiful other things with this spring energy coming through. So we've got the Finch card that says new opportunities and choices are opening to you now, claim them. So this absolutely does feel like something very fresh, very new, very exciting is entering your life. And the Agate card as well is indicating that there is something awe-inspiring around you. You just need to sort of open your eyes be curious. That spring energy is very childlike, so it's time to be curious, to really take especially nature in. Nature can really spark our imagination to life and bring up different ways of feeling curious about life, of feeling an awe for life. But it's also a message being brought forward about what is it that you are elevating in your life. Does it deserve to be elevated? Do you need to find something more worthy of your attention that you are elevating right now? So this may resonate with you that yes, you are elevating something beautiful, or this may sort of catch you off guard and it's something you need to sort of think about a little, and maybe those cool walks or a cool shower will help you to tap into that thing, like what something is being elevated in your life. And it's seen in a couple other ways that I'll get to. But I want to, before we go any further, tap into this. This is called the Creative Soul Deck. And so I wanted to use this to get a little bit of insight about which specific muse is really coming in with this message. I definitely feel the presence of several of them here, but I wanted to see whose voice was forefront, who was sort of boss muse for you guys. And so the Pilgrimage, this is card number 1 in this deck, which is again very spring feeling. There is something very fresh going on for you. And this card is all about, I'm actually going to read this from the deck as well because it's really simple and beautiful. And okay, so it says this card represents the journey. It can signify a time of personal quest, a mission to travel alone, though can often lead to connecting with other souls. This internal expedition may well lead to external voyage. The physical action of walking with no destination can allow the mind's eye to open to this internal path. So there is something, in that spring energy, especially when I look at it astrologically, it really connects to the signs of Aries, Taurus, Gemini. And it's a time when we're really trying to center and find our core self. And so there can be a lot of need to sort of create strong boundaries, do solo things, good alone time to help find that center, calm that center, charge your center. And so this is also tapping again into those like evening walks. There's something about that coming through, that especially if you're not feeling what this new thing is or what the passion is, those evening walks or an evening shower, something about that is really going to spark some sort of internal journey of feeling a new sense of self, a new core passion coming through that will then mirror externally in your life as some sort of new journey about to arise here, which is, really beautiful and really exciting. So we've also got the June card here for the month, and I connect, in this reading, I want to connect it with the sign of Gemini. So there's some Gemini energy coming through here, which to me connects with this bell card that says there's an announcement coming towards you. And so watch for information, watch for communications happening. There's especially watch for birds. I love that a bird showed up on your card, and it's almost like the way that they're laid out here, it's almost like they are a mirror image of each other, but reversed or like the upside down world, like Stranger Things or something, the reverse of you. There's some mirroring. And Gemini also talks about that mirroring. So connecting with others, mirroring with others, it's bringing up certain specific information that's helping you to kind of come to this new sense of pulse and passion and new path coming through, new openings and opportunities coming through. So anyway, all of that information that we've gone through thus far makes me think that the main muse coming through for you guys is Calliope. And she is, or no, I'm sorry, is it? Yeah. Calliope, and she is the foremost muse of the 9 muses, and she's said to be the one with a beautiful voice, and she is the muse of epic poetry. So she's always on, when you read especially Roman or Greek mythology, she shows up in the epics, epic journeys, epic stories. So with this new pilgrimage, this new journey, these new opportunities coming through here, she has an epic that she wants to create in these new openings for you, with this new passion that she's leading you towards. But there's information you're needing to mirror with others, you're needing to connect with others, but also plenty of alone time to connect to yourself that will bring these out. There's also this message coming through. So you've got this vine card that says seek out information that will help you. Again, information coming through. I didn't even read that before I was talking about all these information things, so that's funny to see. I was actually just looking at vine and the panda says balance. Ask how to bring balance to a situation and into your heart. So this is, again, it's sort of the pandas, to me, talking about that need to cool off a little bit. I feel like you guys are pretty charged up right now. And so finding that balance, mirroring with others rather than being impatient with them. So we see this mirroring with the birds, finding balance between alone time and time with others, finding balance between the heat and the coolness, finding balance between activity and inactivity. But we also see the panda climbing something, it's elevating, and then the vine, as it connects to the right information, it lifts itself up and it's also climbing. So we can think about that Agate card, what I said in terms of what are you elevating in your life. Something is elevating in your guys' life, so you really need to pay attention that you're elevating the right kind of information, looking for elevated information, doing all of this in a balanced way, not too impatiently, but, you know, with a forward momentum. We also have this 3 of Fire card here, which is to me connected to the sign of Aries. And the way I interpret this card is really feeling like a beautiful, perfect alignment. It's sort of like after you've come over a threshold of something and things feel a little bit scary in the way that your boundaries are being pushed because you're sort of in a new world, a new threshold of things that you're green in, new in, that feel unfamiliar. It's that time when you first connect with something that gives you direction, something that gives you some sort of order to this new realm, this new world. And this is coming through really strongly and beautifully. And so I have all faith that these muses are really going to help if you listen to and ask for their inspiration to find the right messages, to find elevated messages, to know what things to elevate in your life. They're leading you to some sort of alignment that's going to give your life direction and order that's really, really beautiful and filled with love, rather than, as I said, that there can be sort of some heated confrontational energy that feels present here. I think channeling it right, doing the things we've already talked about, what sort of unfolds, and when you find your alignment and that kind of impatient feeling sort of softens, what really is that aligner, that thing that gives you order, is a sense of love. And I do feel that this, whatever announcement, is sort of like you're finding information to help you move up, elevate in some way. But whatever this announcement is, and you need to keep your ears perked open a bit, I think it's helping you to connect to a deeper, coming from a deeper place of love. Okay, to end this reading, I want to roll some astro dice to get a little bit more specific information about where in your life all this beautiful energy is showing up. Oh, wow. Okay. So we've got the North Node here, which to me is exactly spring energy. It's a new, fresh threshold. It's a place of hunger, of eagerness, of passion, of really wanting to find your center, and a new sense of passion and a fresh path and an ability to choose your own destiny with your free will, and be able to direct your life without without sort of like fate interfering, like your free will being able to express itself directly. And there's something about lifestyle, work, or wellness, or all three coming through around that, as well as a potential around home, around stabilizing emotions, about feeling secure. So different routines and rhythms and systems and processes may help you to find a sense of emotional depth and security you're needing, maybe the kind of nurturing self-care you need to give to yourself in order to really strengthen the North Node is called the Dragon's Head, this place of deep hunger and eagerness for a new path. There's something about creating routines and rituals that are like very nourishing and caring, especially towards yourself, that will help to balance your energy and really help you to find the center and the passion and the order and basically that direction you're really eager to start asserting. So really beautiful reading, you guys. Definitely read up on Calliope. Start seeing what kind of journeys are feeling present within you as a mirror to start seeing those openings for those outward journeys, external life journeys. But I think the more time you spend on even documenting, writing down sort of inward journeys that you're feeling, that will start to help you mirror those outwardly and bring some excitement and interest and awe and elevation to your life. We definitely, there's this angel showing up here. I love seeing both the angel and love showing up here. It's like you're being watched over, so if anything feels a little bit lost to you, don't worry. For whatever reason, I'm feeling the need to say that everything's happening in divine timing here, so don't rush it and be patient. Because I think once this announcement comes, once the bell rings, you're off and running with something that's not going to have a lot of downtime. So it's sort of like some patience, finding the right information, being curious about life, starting to really love yourself and decide what you want for yourself rather than waiting for life to happen for you. So that's what I have for you guys. Beautiful message and beautiful sort of spring energy, awakening winds and airs and breezes to you. And stay connected to Calliope. Do some research on her, connect with her every morning, create your own little, ritual to connect with Calliope and invoke her each morning to help really solidify all of this and channel it in a beautiful way. All right, if this reading resonated with you guys, the easiest way you can support my channel is just a simple thumbs up. Super helpful, and of course it's always fun to read your guys' comments and see if there's anything really specific that stuck out. And definitely, if you are not subscribed yet, I'd love to do more readings for you, so please do so, and I will see you in another reading. See you guys. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. If this is you guys, you picked the red Jasper stone, which represents summer and heat and fire and passion. So this was the card you picked as well. So before we start the reading, just to channel in the element connected to the pile you chose, just kind of kicking up a little bit of extra fire for you guys, bringing in the Muse energy for this pile. Okay, so I'm going to read from the book on this card because it's sort of, to me, representing the cornerstone of this reading, the central axis of what's going on here. And this particular deck, it's called the Seed and Sickle, and when you draw it in upright position, there's a book with messages from the energy of dawn, and when you draw it in reverse like it happened here, there's a book with messages from the energy of dusk. So that's what we're going to read for Verbena, sorry, and card 42 in reverse is your card. So okay, it says verbena is an historic plant of reconciliation and was carried by Roman and Persian ambassadors during peace talks. Not only did it represent compromise, but also defiance of one's enemy. Just because you're patching over a rocky situation doesn't mean that you have to give up your agency in order to achieve an agreement. Stand your ground and make sure that you're heard too. So I love this for the summer energy, kicking you guys off. To me, it's a time of really coming into a sense of maturity, which is starting to think about the way that you impact the world and being able to deal with a little bit more complexity. And it's how we mature things, how we bring fruitfulness into our lives. And so I think that you are really coming maybe into some challenges around this, but really growing in a beautiful way. In terms of, like, there might be some sticky situation in your life that the Muses want to help you with. And they're saying that just because this situation is going to require sort of compromise all around, it doesn't mean you should be a pushover. If there's things you really feel passionate about, you should stand your ground, you should use your voice, you should speak up, and they want to help you with that. So I want to call in the Muse that's specifically, I definitely, with last pile, I felt several of them there, and I feel that as well in this one, but I also want to uncover who's sort of like boss Muse, who's leading the Muse energy in your reading, and one that you can really call on. And what I'm feeling is there are certain cards here, especially, so the pelican, we have choose to follow the path of forgiveness and raise your vibration. So again, something about maybe some sort of sticky situation. And then we've got this eclipse card from our Creative Soul deck. And I'm using the Creative Soul deck as one of my major hints to understand the Muse that's here. And this again talks about somewhat of a sticky situation, and I'll read from the book for that because it's also a quite succinct message. So a tale of two energies, creativity, your life force may feel suppressed. However, this card asks you to surrender to the passage and allow illumination to return in its own time. The eclipse forewarns of a dark chapter before the lightness arrives. Surrender to this inner shadow and pay attention to its messages. greet the presence of light, which will inevitably return. So definitely a moment where something has a shadow over it in your life. You may feel a sense of your vitality, of your power, of a certain circumstance as sort of losing a bit of its potency, but it's something that you're needing to go through as a growing pain. It's not a sign of things to spiral in a downward tailspin. It's a sign that you're up to certain challenges that are a little bit sticky, and you're able to deal with sort of a loss of light, a loss of power, a loss of potency right now, because it's helping you grow something much more beautiful and mature and fruitful inside of you. And when the light returns, you're going to see that certain grief, so we have this wreath here, sorrow over a loss. There's something about forgiveness. There's something about, peace talks here. Yeah, there's something going on that's a little sticky, I feel like, but it's all growing. The Muses can see that you are up for a growing challenge, and when that light returns, certain griefs, certain difficult feelings, difficult circumstances that you've grown through and past at some point, so when the light returns, the type of fruit that you'll be able to produce, the type of potency that you'll be able to cultivate newly. Oh goodness, we've got some wax encroaching on the cards. Hold on one second. I just want to keep it at bay if I can. At least away from the cards. I don't care if it touches the rock. Okay, sorry about that. So to me, that's always a sign. I don't like to stop readings in the middle of these things, because they're also signs to me that something is like some sort of leaking energy is starting to spill into your life, but it's not the end of the world. It's not as big of a deal as you think. There's maybe certain things that you need to keep protected and safe, but if it touches other things in your life, it's really not too big of a deal. Roll with it. So this is all making me think that the Muse of tragedy is the one who is here. And if you think about, and her name is Melpo, I'm going to butcher her name. I'm so sorry. I'm not good with pronunciation. Melpomene. And she's called the one who sings. And she's also the mother of mermaids. So even though she rules over tragedy, she really understands the beauty of drama. We're so captivated by that in the theater, the drama. There's a beauty to it. There's a beauty of having gone through things like grief and loss. There's a maturity we gain, and there's something captivating about it, not only for ourselves, but the outside world watching it. But this Muse, the mother of mermaids, also has a beautiful voice. And so there may be, and I feel this with the forgiveness and the peace talks, and maybe I'm going to bring the woman in here too, that there may be some alluring things around you that you don't quite know how or what to trust about them. And so keep a little bit of a caution up. This is like a a path of maturity that you're going through right now. This message that the Muses want to talk about. There's some sort of maturing event around you, and it's just, you know, being aware, standing your ground, knowing what you stand for. And then, so we've got dealings or relationship with a woman. And so it's interesting to me that this muse, Melpomene, also being the muse of mermaids, there may be a woman entangled in something in your life that's, that feels complex and feels, you know, where there's an unsurety. Wow, we've got like fires going crazy and things are leaking here. So yes, that totally makes me think that this woman is something to watch out for. If you have strange feelings, if you're unsure about something, sorry, I'm just going to move these out of the way a little. If you're unsure about what to trust about a woman in your life, this is saying that trust your instincts, stand your ground, trust your instincts, but still come in with, you know, a certain amount of forgiveness. Everybody has their story. You don't have to let it affect you, but it doesn't mean that you have to judge harshly. Just protect your boundaries, protect your boundaries, the things you don't want touched by something that's alluring but also dangerous. Protect your boundaries, but with a forgiving heart. Whoever and whatever's affecting you, they're doing the best they can. This is a really fiery situation here. I'm gonna hold off trying to blow out this candle, but it's just, yeah, confirming that there's sticky situations for sure. However, I am doing this reading in July, and the month card that came out here is August, and is matching that summer energy for sure, at least in the northern hemisphere. But what I want to say is that, you know, you may, because this is a timeless reading, you may be coming to this reading at a totally different time of year. But due to my time frame with this card, I want to say that a month from whenever you have this reading, something is going to feel resolved, and this sun is coming back. That sun that you feel a loss of, the illumination that you're feeling a loss of, that shadow you're feeling, is going to, the sun will come back in, and you're going to see that under the surface of all the challenges, of the things you've faced, of certain dramas, of grief, of diplomacy, of learning to stand your ground, you've really developed a new, it may not be specifically financial wealth, even though this is like coins coming down. So for some of you, that might be literal, but for others, it's just like a new abundance of fruitfulness that you've cultivated an ability to generate in your life. And it's because you now know the warning signs of what to create boundaries with, how to navigate sticky situations, how to hold your boundaries and let the fires and floods find their own paths that don't affect you so much. This is crazy, you guys. And then we also, matching with the sun coming back, this wealth card showing up, we have the filled mouths, which says success. Believe in yourself and dare to dream big. And so I feel like you are in the thick of details right now, but a month from now, you're going to be able to climb up onto some sort of vantage point and see just how far you've come, just how much detail you've waded through to get you into a fully different and beautiful situation. And I do want to say that in relation to wealth coming up, one of the things you may be developing a wealth of is an ability to understand temperance and its beauty. Temperance is a card and an energy. Yes, so the light just went out when I've come to this temperance. That absolutely confirms to me that this is the gold that you're finding. You're going through a journey of having, so like if you're going to temper a sword, you are putting it in extremely hot coals and into extremely freezing cold water to get that material, that metal, to the exact right resilience where it's not too hard and brittle that it shatters when it hits things, but it's not too soft that it sort of bends when it hits things. It's the right resilience. And you've gone through this process of like extreme temperatures or extreme ends of a pendulum in certain situations. And having done that, you know how to come at things in a more moderate, temperate, resilient way. And that is a wealth, an energy, an asset you've developed in yourself that could be considered a wealth asset, and it might be an asset that helps you to build wealth in other ways. And the last card showing up here before I roll some dice, we have the Father, and I feel like this is indicative of like an archetype within you that's really being developed here with all these challenges that you've gone through. So the Father archetype, in its light side, it's very loyal, commanding, responsible, authoritative. In its dark side, it can be absent, so either literally or emotionally. And so you may go swing the pendulum of like overly rigid and responsible to absent in some emotional or literal way. And you're finding the middle road here of how to be present just enough that you have the energy to be responsible and a resilient, not, just right way, not too rigid and not too lenient way. You're finding sort of your resilient core and how to stand up for yourself, how to own your sort of authority, and how to wield that in a really temperate, beautiful way that just brings a lot of light, a lot of responsibility that you feel is deserved, and a lot of success into your life. And you've sort of been through it, so you have like a sageness about you because you've been through some things. Okay, we're gonna last thing roll some astro dice to maybe get a little bit of context about somewhere more specifically targeted in your life that all of this is going on. Yeah, I mean, this does not surprise me what showed up here. So this is the first house, your sense of self. So there's something about your sense of personal boundaries, your sense of passion, your direction in life, where your sun, your creative energy, your ego, your will is being a little bit with that Pisces energy. There's like some dissolving energy around it. There's some complexity around it. But at the same time, there's magic here. And when you really have gone through the pendulum of things, have learned how to stand your ground, have learned whatever lessons are coming, and how to understand a new quality of light needing to come through you that's a little bit more magical and a little bit more compassionate, that tempered aspect of you that is the key to creating this Father archetype in you that the Muses are trying to help you with, comes through. But there's some complexity here, and some, with the mermaid thing I was talking about in Pisces, that totally makes sense. Like, things aren't always as they seem. Certain things that may be alluring are actually a little dangerous. Definitely watch out for this woman, whoever that is, but with, still a a heart of forgiveness and compassion, but a standing your ground, knowing that even though you don't need to necessarily judge them, you also don't need them to affect your life in a certain way or be part of it even. But yeah, there's definitely something complex going on here, but give it a month and you're really going to come out of the weeds to a new vantage point. The sun's going to come back out and like a whole new centering of your light, of a whole new, yeah, just like a whole new core to you is coming through that just knows how to weed through the, travel through the weeds and out the other side to having developed just like really beautiful capabilities, sage qualities, to understanding complexity and knowing how to stand in the right quality of firmness through things that are delicate. And it's really gonna I feel like this mouse is sort of down inside of this like wheat field right now, so you can't see it right now, but in a month's time you're coming to a vantage point and you're gonna see what an amazing job you've done, what things you've gone into and through that have just completely matured you in such a gorgeous, new, capable, tempered self. Yeah, so I will stop repeating myself and going over and over this, but I think this is beautiful. Definitely feel free to do a little bit of research on your own of Melpomene, that muse of tragedy, and give her offerings every day. Invoke her yourself if you want, because she really has some beautiful things to say about what you're going through, and some wise guidance and insight and inspiration that is going to come out of it all. And she's offering to be with you through this, so definitely channel her as much as you want over the next month. But yeah, give it a month and I think you're gonna have a whole different outlook. So beautiful reading, you guys. This felt sort of epic in so many ways. So wishing you the best of luck over the next month. If this resonated for you, the easiest way to support me and my channel is just a simple thumbs up. And of course, I do love sort of browsing over the comments when I get chances. Those are really fun to read. And of course, if you are not already subscribed, I would love it if you would. I would love to do more readings for you. So hit that subscribe button and I will see you in another reading. Hello, Pile 3, and welcome to your reading all about something that the Muses, a message, some inspiration, something that they have to inform you about, tell you about, inspire you about. We'll dive in and see, but first, having drawn the pile of autumn and the water element, I just wanted to channel a little bit more of that water energy into this reading. There we go. Okay, to start out, oh goodness, I've splashed all the cards. It's all right. To start out, I want to read this tulip card. So this was the card you picked with the stone. And this card from the Seed and Sickle Oracle, when these cards come out as upright, there is a message, a dawn message for them. And when they come out reverse, there is a dusk message for them. So your card, the tulip card 14, came out upright. So there is a dawn message for you with this card. And sorry, I'm just getting some of the water off of these before they, anyway. Okay, so let's read this, and it's a really, I already checked up on it real quick, and it's such a beautiful message. This whole reading, just to, preface, is very uplifting so far of the 3 piles. They've all had beautiful messages, but yours feels like very upbeat, positive, like some beautiful things have already been sort of swirling through your life. Okay. So tulips are full of a boundless, unstoppable energy, full of color, creativity, and life. They're not slow or careful, right, like the rest of the plant world. They're all about growing. In the 1600s, tulips caused one of the greatest cases of buying mania in history, with some varieties so sought after that a single bulb could sell for 2,500 florins, an equivalent of $150,000 today. Embrace the shameless, flamboyant vibrance of this flower and don't be afraid to put your stamp on the world. Be yourself, express yourself, make the art you want to make. Now is the time to turn life into what you want it to be. And I love this in conjunction with this self card that appeared with the archetype card. It's just like your self, your sense of self, I think, is like really, excuse me, in a beautiful, strong, radiant place right now. And so what the Muses are trying to bring to your attention is when you are in this type of quality and place, you have the opening and the opportunity to magnify that by sharing it. Like, this is really an energy that needs to be put out into the world, to be shared into the world in order to get the most of it, to keep it its fires burning and alive and its vibrancy still alive. And there's a lot of new, I believe, dimensional ways with this self kind of having a prism quality around it, that you're seeing that you can assert yourself in life, affect life, have a say over how life is working and molding for you. So it's really also a time not of just sharing this radiant energy you have, but of really getting playful with seeing how the different ways in which you can see yourself can create different sorts of effects on the world, on your world. Wow, some of that water just put this fire out. So that is also a sign to me that don't just, wow, that water that I put down just sort of, I think, soaked the wick of this. Well, that's a sign. I don't think I'm going to get it going. But to me, this is a sign that, like, don't rest on your laurels. Don't just assume that this energy is going, just because you have it right now, that it's permanent. You have to feed this. Don't let it, don't let anything dampen it in your life. Don't let others dampen this. Feed it by sharing it. Feed it by being playful with it. Feed it by seeing how you can affect life and how that's exciting. Do things that stoke your fire here. Because this water energy from your reading, definitely, water energy likes to move and change and flow. And there's something here that's saying, this needs to be contained to a degree in order to get the most out of it. And so really be targeted about how you're sharing it, targeted about how you're playing with it. But yeah, don't just rest on your laurels and assume this is here to stay. Like, really, really take advantage of this moment. Okay, so I wanted to read also this card from the Creative Soul deck. This is the deck I'm using to get some insight into which muse, and I've felt with so far all the piles that several muses are here and present, but I want to use this oracle card to sort of tap into which particular muse has like, is the boss muse for you guys, is like really present, really showing up right now for you. So this oracle card, it says an extremely powerful card. The oracle proclaims your wisdom and insight. Exactly. It's a time to proclaim things. Don't just assume things and sit back on your laurels. It's a time to be very assertive and vibrant and engaged in life, and to proclaim what you want, and to proclaim whatever you feel, really. Any insights you have. Connect to your divine source of energy, the ancient soul that resides all around and within. This all-seeing entity encourages you to connect and guide your community into a place of unity and harmony. And this is a place where you can use that water, autumny element in a really beautiful way to sort of connect people, to see how the harmonies flow from one thing and one person to another, how things blend. That sort of, fluid type of energy coming through there. And then it says, beware to use this power for the well-being of others and not seep the senses in rapacious indulgence. Yeah, so what I had already said, that's coming through again here, is that you have a power radiating out of you, and to keep it stoked, you need to share this for with the intention of the well-being of all, and not just indulging in life because it's good right now. That's the quickest way to dissipate this energy. So just a clue here. And I really want to say that, let's see, I'm looking over this list of muses here, and I kind of am feeling the main one coming through to me is Thalia, the cheerful one, muse of comedy and flourishing. I really feel like you're in a flourishing mode right now, and I think there's some laughter and joy radiating out with that to be shared, some good humor to be shared here. That happiness. That's maybe where that's coming from. Just, some flourishing and happiness and humor coming out. So the chickadee card appearing here, a message that's wanting to be shared, is the time is right to release old patterns and energies. You are ready to embrace change. And I love that coming out with tulip and the self, because when you look at the zodiac in astrology, the first position, the first kind of placement in the zodiac, the Aries energy, is sort of, which actually connects with the month of April too. So, chickadees come out in April. April is the month of Aries, and the self is the month of Aries. So there's something really fresh and vibrant about you, and it's sort of, I think this is a new energy. This is a new sense of self, a new passion shining through. And with that, it's bringing the potential, for like a new kind of order, different sort of releasing of the old, embracing of the new, excitement about change. Sometimes change can feel scary and unwelcome, and sometimes it can feel really beautiful and anticipated and exciting. And that's what I feel here, is like life is changing in a very flourishing, vibrant way for you. So it's like, embrace that. And anything new is like, beginner's luck, the new shiny token. And so we saw that with the story of the tulips. They must have been going through some sort of a new phase of their own during that 1600s when they became all the rage, I guess. So there's something, that's what I'm feeling. There's something about you that's all the rage, but it's a time to share that with goodwill and blessing everyone with with the positivity coming off of you. So a couple of other messages here. The crib, so birth or conception of a child or an enterprise. So again, this Aries energy is coming through very strongly. This could be literal for some of you, birth or conception of a child or enterprise, or this could just be like a sense of like a new threshold having been crossed, a new chapter of life arriving. So the crib could be a metaphor for that, of like, yeah, some new thing that's entered your life that it's unmistakable, that you're in a new sort of chapter that's about to unfold. And then here we've got rose, and romance is in the air. So this could be literally a romance with a special other, or being hot on the market in general, but it could also just be feeling a romance with life, a romance with creation, a romance with the radiant power you're feeling within yourself. But because you're radiating, because you're kind of the shiny new thing right now, I do feel like you are quite appealing to others at the moment. So this could be attracting some beautiful heart energy into your life, and people just paying attention, people wanting to be around you, part of what you're doing. And I want to say with this April card, I think something happened in April, or started, or an intention made in April, that's at the root, at the source of all of this. So look back at April and think about something special that either happened, or an intention you kind of really tapped into at that moment, but it's like really blossoming at this point, whatever that was or is. Another piece of guidance coming through here is from the elephant, and it says grounding. Ground your energies and emotions deep into the earth. And I think that's very beautiful, wise advice coming through with this very kind of vibrant energy, but through this fluid water pile you picked is yeah, sometimes that excitement, that humor, that delight can go a bit to our heads, that can both rise up a sense of ego, but also detracts from us manifesting more. It kind of starts getting into a vibration that's hard to bring into the 3D. And so some grounding practices, really putting your bare feet on the earth, or doing different yoga practices that have to do with the root chakra, or anything that meditations with the root chakra, something that kind of grounds that energy back down to keep it contained in self, rather than going out like the flame, rising too quickly, too vibrantly, burning out too fast. There's a sustaining energy that is being warned about here. Don't let this fluid, beautiful, vibrant energy go too quickly, or go too far to your head. Ground it. Contain it a little, share it with goodwill, feeding others and feeding humility, I think, will feed this as a sustainable thing, rather than something that flares up and burns out. So a last card here, we've got 9 of Fire. Again, this is such a beautiful card to me. Sometimes I would read 9 of Fire or 9 of Wands a little differently, but how it's feeling in this particular deck and within this particular reading is sort of like you have put in a lot of work and you have a lot going on. And that's again where, you have a lot of stuff to attend to, but if you keep an attitude of happiness and enjoy the work you do and how you're doing it, this will feel exciting. If you look at this with a little bit of overwhelm and how do I keep all of this together, again, that's where the flame goes out. That's where you start feeling exhaustion. Anytime you're feeling that sense of exhaustion, it's time to ground, it's time to share, and it's time to look at how to enjoy all the many amazing things you have on your plate. That's a huge call to action, is that you need to find a way to enjoy all of this, because it is so beautiful, but there is a lot here, is the sense I have. Okay, so to finish up the reading, I wanted to roll some astro dice to get a little bit more specific insight into what realm of your life this is all touching and coming through. Yeah, this doesn't surprise me. Okay, so we've got your 5th house, which is all about creativity, leadership, enjoyment, leisure, recreation, being in the spotlight, being the star. And then you've got Gemini, that sense of like a lot going on, like I touched into with this card. There is a lot going on. And then Saturn, where there could be that burnout, that overwhelm. There are some limitations on you. There are some pressures on you. But you need to keep tapped into a sense of curiosity and wonder, and a sense of vibrancy and light, and really great. You know, the elephant and Saturn to me have a big message of grounding things, stepping back at moments to take it in, to get the specific things, to take in the view of like what it is you really need to focus on. Where are your priorities? What in all of this beautiful energy happening, what is it that you're trying to master, or what mastery do you have that you're sharing? So not losing sight of that very specific thing, because that's at the core of this beautiful energy. So really staying tapped into and focused on what it is you're mastering, or what your mastery is. Constantly feeding it with wonder and sharing and goodwill, and a sense of generosity instead of like ego. So understanding that your radiance is a feedback loop. It's so when you are generous and you share your light with others, they give their energy back to you willingly. But when you start getting into ego about it and thinking a lot about yourself, you'll stop getting that positive feedback from the others you're radiating to, and that starts diminishing that light. So being really cognizant of what your mastery is, what it is that kind of brought this here, and keeping some focus there, staying generous and staying connected to your sense of wonder, childlike wonder and eagerness to connect, and just finding a beauty in life. And, you know, Thalia, the muse of comedy and flourishing, being here, being with you, the cheerful one, as she's called. I definitely encourage you to do a little of your own research on her and to invoke her on your own in the morning. You can listen again to the intro and kind of use my invocation, but replace it with whatever words you want, and maybe specifically, instead of to generally the goddesses and muses, to specifically to Thalia. And keep her with you, because she wants to help you manage this. She wants to help you luxuriate in this and enjoy it, to help you, build your life and create more and more vibrancy here. So this is what I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If this resonated with you, the easiest way you can support my readings and my channel is just like a simple thumbs up. I always also enjoy reading comments if they are there. And definitely, if you are not subscribed yet, I would love it if you would subscribe, because I'd love to do more readings for you. All right, I'll see you guys in another one. Welcome, Pile 4, to your reading all about what kind of message, inspiration, thoughts do the Muses have for you right now. So diving into this, you guys chose the pile 4, which was the pile of winter and earth. So I just wanted to, on the theme of invoking things, we've already invoked the Muses, but I wanted to bring that earth energy in. So I'm just going to burn a little bit of sage and crush it into here to make a little bit of new earth quality to put back. I'll go and put this into the earth after this reading. Okay, so the card you picked along with the stone, so these were the paired ones. This is sort of the cornerstone card, the one that I'm jumping off with. So I wanted to actually read this one straight from the book. And this deck, it's called the Seed and Sickle. And when you pick it up, a card upright, there's a message from the energy of dawn to read. And when it comes up reverse, there's a message from the energy of dusk. So this one for your pile, this came out upright. So the dawn energy for crocus has a message here, and it says, like the stubborn crocus that endures the thickest frost to bloom, you've always managed to find that part of you that is strong and unmoving when times have been tough. This part of you is a valuable ally. Try reaching for it even when you don't need it. Become familiar with it and employ its determination in your everyday life. It will only benefit you. With this strength in hand, you can achieve anything. So this definitely really beautifully channels that winter energy. It's very elder type of energy, and it's, plants that have to bloom through the winter or endure winters can be quite tough. So there's something in you, I think, that you have endured sort of a winter phase in your life, not literally the yearly season, but like that energy of winter has maybe been a chapter you've gone through for like a year or something, or some extended time, where you kind of been regenerating. You've sort of let go of some sort of chapter, you're regenerating, and you know that there's something in you that's strong that will be reborn, and you're kind of coming into that time. And I'm seeing that big time with a lot of these other cards coming through. So the peacock next to it, it says inherent wisdom is emerging at this time. And that's such winter energy to me. The sage, you've gained some kind of beautiful wisdom after going through a whole life cycle of something and coming up into a new rebirth. So it says watch it and ready yourself for a rebirth. So your rebirth is coming with a new sort of wisdom that you've gained through enduring this time of winter. But it is time, like your spring moment is right around the corner. It is, it's in the air already, is what I feel like. It's, I think you're very familiar with probably what I'm talking about with this winter energy, and like, you can just feel it's like right around the corner. This rebirth is coming, but you've come from a place of such patience and regeneration and shadow work and new kinds of visions and inspirations under the surface here. And so something, really beautiful is just ready to emerge. And so I love seeing the mask come up, because it's sort of like right before the spring when new life breaks through the ground. right before that moment is where we have this inspiration, but we can't quite see it in reality, in real life yet. And that's where fantasy plays such a beautiful role, is to kind of go into this realm of possibility, of dreams, of the imaginal. And I think there's something within you where if you can either recall times when you've been in costume, or costumes you've wanted to play, or a costume you've always that you kind of crave to have on right now. Sometimes when we have a mask on or a costume on, it channels some aspect of ourself that we haven't allowed or known how to, or been allowed to release. And I think this rebirth is coming with that. And so right now you're just like, it's almost like, I don't want to say childish, but it's almost like theater, where you're just needing to tap into the possibility of this and find inspiration from something that's been hiding within you that hasn't been unleashed yet. And being able to do that may require you to play pretend for a minute. And then when the rebirth comes, I think you're going to be surprised by what that allowance of play and theater and fantasy actually unleashes into reality. So it's, so fantasy can be a really beautiful thing to tap us into the possibility of something we've never allowed before, that's been suppressed, that's been in our shadows. So there's something going on with that. And so this new rebirth that's coming isn't just like a new life cycle of something, like moving from 10th grade to 11th grade. This is like moving countries, or, like moving from one economic status to one that's more freeing. It's just something that you've never imagined. But now that you're allowing yourself to be a bit more fantastical, you are allowing that a little bit more, exploring it, opening doors to things that you've never even noticed that were doors you could open before. So that's really exciting. I think this is a very encouraging, I think the Muses want to bring encouraging inspiration. They want you to play. They want you to get into the theater and fantasy of life, because you're needing to tap into possibilities you haven't imagined yet. So the Pioneer card, I'm going to read from the book as well, because I'm using this it's from the deck, the Creative Soul deck. I'm using this card, this deck, to help me tap into which muse specifically. I've in every pile I've felt the presence of many muses, but there's, to me, always one sort of boss muse or main muse, and I kind of want to uncover who that is so you can work with this muse. So this card from the Creative Soul deck is the Pioneer, and it says discovery is found within release. And that makes so much sense paired with the mask, discovery in releasing sides of you, characters that you've never dared to play or thought could be within you. We must let go of outdated notions and old patterns to clear space for the new. The Pioneer imbues you with trust in what is over the horizon. Exactly, like you're not quite to that horizon, to that coming through the surface of the soil yet, the new dawn, but it's so close, because with this card we did pick the dawn message. And so I feel like that dawn, that new horizon, that breaking through the surface is like inches away. So it really, really is like urgent that you play with character and put on masks and get into theater and fantasy in order to like really imagine something totally different. Okay, sorry, I'm getting off on a side path here. Okay, faith in what is yet unseen. Exactly. should have just kept going. Be open to wiping the slate clean. Yeah, loosen your grip on anything that is held too tightly. Freedom from attachment is the root of creative process. Begin again. And so this is another beautiful message of like that clean slate, letting go of attachment. This card, this initial card, the main card for this reading is showing that you do have a toughness within you. But I do want to say that, like, I think these side messages are saying, like, even though you're needing to channel that toughness in order to get to this rebirth moment, to the new horizon, to breaking through the surface, you also need to have toughness in a determination to wipe your slate clean, to a toughness in getting rid of old patterns, some tough love with yourself around what you no longer want, and leaving room for imagination to flood in and fantasy to flood in to show you what you could have once there's space to play with that, to dabble in a little bit of theater and try things on and see like, oh wow, okay, now that I have the space and that I'm playing, I can see what is possible. Okay, so some other messages coming through. These are very connected to me. I love this pairing that came out. You have butterfly and wishbone, a change for the better, and a wish is granted. So better days ahead. You are coming out of winter phase, that you're in that chrysalis. How do you say that? Weird. You're in the chrysalis, the butterfly's chrysalis, and you're about to rebirth into something you could never imagine. The caterpillar can never imagine being a butterfly. That's why you have to put the mask on, because what you are about to be reborn as, you could never imagine until you get playful and dive into make-believe, and that make-believe leads to like, oh, maybe this isn't so make-believe, maybe this could be. And that's where you need to make the wish. When you find that character, that mask, that thing that just resounds within you, make a wish about it, because it will be granted. And that's your butterfly. I got sidetracked, so when I read the Pioneer card, I wanted to use that to bring out the Muse, the main Muse that has beautiful things for you. And I really feel like this is, I am not great with pronunciation, so I apologize if I am pronouncing her name incorrectly, this Muse's name. It's Polyhenia. And so she is sort of like a muse of lyrical poetry, of harmony, of agriculture and geometry and rhetoric, and she is the muse of many songs. And I just feel, I'm trying to find the words to describe why I feel like she is the one that is here with you. I think it's that geometry. It's like she has a new new kind of patterning, a new sort of sacred geometry that your life is going to start patterning out from. And so it's sort of like that, looking for old patterns that are wanting to die. She can really help you see this and really inspire the new patterns wanting to be birthed, and the new rhythms, the new sort of rhetoric you need to use to pull that out of you, to draw it out of you, and sort of a lyricism and a harmony that helps you kind of change from one patterning to a different patterning. So she can help you tap into, you know, when you put this new mask on, this imaginal, the fantasy, the theater, the character, you can drop into this new pattern, and she can help you to feel inspired by that and touch into the fact that that pattern can be your pattern if you want it to be. So she's really here to help you connect into that patterning, the sacred geometry, and the lyricism and harmony of things. So feeling the different beats, the different lyricism of a new character, and how that actually might feel more right to you than the quality of lyricism you've been patterned with in the last, I think, many rounds. I don't think this is one life cycle. Like, I think it's over many, many life cycles that you've had, and you're ready to change into a new kind of pattern, character. So some cards over here, we're seeing that career is big here. So that this change coming, this rebirth, this new horizon, just like right that you're so close to, on the precipice of. I think the main thing it's going to repattern in you and in your life is what you start to master in life, where you excel and create mastery and excellence and authority in your life. There's something about the new pattern that you're stepping into in this rebirth that is bringing a focus into some sort of mastery that you are capable of, and that life and the muses really want for you, because you have inspiration to give, and the muses can see that, so they're trying to inspire you so that you can inspire and be other people's muses. And then February, I love this wind blowing. It's sort of like a change for the better. It's coming. So maybe February is the big month. Currently, when I'm doing this reading, it is mid-July, so this is timeless, so you could be coming to this at any point, but there's something about February. So if you've just come from the month of February, maybe this change is already kind of coming in, but if you're a couple months past February, it might be the preceding February to come. For those that are watching this close to when I upload it, let's see, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, so about 7 months away. But for how big of a change this feels like, this is like, to me, this is like a complete makeover, a complete stepping into a completely new life, a new persona, a new everything. 7 months isn't a long time for that quality and caliber of change to take place. So take those months, however many months it is for you, even if it's 10 months for you when you see this, or maybe you only have a month when you see this, but take whatever time it is to really dive into trying on different characters, putting on different masks, allowing yourself to explore a completely different way of being, which comes with a totally different patterning. Okay, so the last two cards over here I'm loving. So we've got Chameleon, which again, this totally makes sense. That, you know, the chameleon will change colors with its environment. And so this might be saying, like, with that theater, with that trying on different masks and characters, maybe you need to also move environments a little bit, do a little bit of travel, socialize in ways you haven't, meet people you wouldn't normally meet, do things where you're putting yourself in environments you're not used to, or just constantly changing environments, because I think that's going to help you find that mask, that persona, that character that is trying to find you as well. And Polyhenia can really help you with this. So if you want to invoke her every morning with that intent of finding, you know, the mask, the character, the fantasy that wants to become a reality, and directing you on like where to go, inspiring you on what to do, where to be, where to go, to try on different environments and different characters. And then this card, it also says Soul Tribe. It is safe to be seen. So I think this muse also wants to, with these changes in environment and changes in trying on different masks and characters, I think the harmony you feel about how it feels to be seen in these different characters, when that feels safe and right, and the right people and the right environment, all of those elements, the right mask, the right people, the right environment, when you feel that safety and sense of soulfulness as coming alive and like a tribe surrounding this, you'll know that you've hit that right patterning, that you've hit that place that you want to now, as the chameleon, just sort of like, yeah, these are my people, these are my colors, this is in my environment, this is right. But that, like, I think this, all of it's changing, all of it, the environment, your colors, and your tribe. Something in your soul is calling you for a huge, huge change, you guys. Like, this is major. And then you have the sun here, and this is saying that this, whatever this change is, whatever this new horizon, new quality of self and change for the better, it's completely aligned to you and making it possible to feel your quality of light in a much more aligned, safe, beautiful, radiant way. You're coming into the exact right alignment to be seen, to want to be seen, to feel comfortable and safe being seen, to enjoy being seen, and to just coming into a much more joyful star quality. And again, I'm just seeing career right across from this, all connected to something that you're excelling, you're going to excel at once you put this new persona on that's actually you. It's a you that just hasn't been given permission to come out until you put the mask on. So the new you that's released by the mask, it has some kind of key to the type of excellence you're meant to develop and cultivate in this lifetime. It's so beautiful. Okay, last thing, I'm going to roll some astro dice to get a little bit more detail about where in your life these things are kind of taking place. Yeah, okay. Let's see, that's, I think, South Node. Hold on. Yeah, oh no, it's North Node. And Sagittarius. Yes, so North Node, oh, excuse me. North Node is a new beginning, a fresh slate, having the ability to claim your own destiny without fate's interaction. So having a lot of control of free will here and determining what you want for yourself. And there's a big aim, there's a willingness to start pushing outside of your boundaries like the chameleon. Start pushing yourself into environments that are a little bit out of your comfort zone, and you're actually going to find your comfort zone by doing that. You're going to find your community, your tribe, by pushing your boundaries, and it may be by even going overseas, meeting with just there's something about people from a very different culture. So even if you're staying in the same place, you need to mingle with people from a very different culture and upbringing than you. On the biggest scale, that's like actually going overseas to a foreign country. But you're finding your community, you're finding your tribe, and and that's my dog confirming it if you heard it. He just sort of growling at his other dog friend. Dog brother, I mean. A new start with a new community that makes you think bigger, that makes you push your comfort zones, but at the same time, it opens up totally new doors. It opens up new opportunities. It broadens and expands your life completely. Whoops, I switched that. Okay, so that is the Muse message for you guys. Really exciting. Definitely call on Polyhenia, excuse me, to work with you over the next months through to February. She really wants to be available to you, to help guide you, to help kind of push you into the different openings and places and people that you're supposed to encounter to really unlock this persona that is within you. It has to be released by playing with it as if it's imaginal, because it's like you don't know it's there until you play make-believe with it, or fantasy, or theater with it, whatever. So have a little bit of fun right now. I feel like you need to be playful. You need to explore. You may feel somewhat inspired, but also somewhat lost, and that's okay. The point is to try different things on right now and see what inspires you, see what feels right. This is sort of like going shopping for like a new wardrobe for a new city. So you have to kind of figure out, you know, what feels right for that place and that weather and the types of events you would be going to in that place. You know, it's but somewhere you've never been type of thing. So, all right, that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Beautiful reading. The easiest and best way you can support my channel right now is a very, very simple thumbs up down below the video. And of course, if there's specific things that really jumped out at you, I love browsing through the comments. Those are always fun to read. And then definitely, if you are not subscribed yet, please do so, because I would love to do more readings for you guys. All right, I will see you guys in another reading.